Some people have speculated that will there ever be another company, a comic company that could rival Marvel and DC? Are we stuck with Marvel and DC forever? They've got the characters, they've got the IP, they've got the brands that everybody knows. So can there be a third, a new strong company? Is it possible? I mean, the answer is yes, but definitely it's an uphill climb. Hey everybody, this is Perch. I think that it's a dream of a lot of people who have a comic or a comic idea, I should say, that one day they will, their character will be as well known as Superman or Batman, and they will, be the comic company that will rival, the Marvel and DC juggernauts, and that they will, basically take this market. And it's a nice to dream. Everybody needs a dream. It's like One Piece. You're going to be king of the pirates. That's what you're going to do. I think that it's certainly possible to find yourself in that position, but it's not an easy haul. It's going to be a very tough road because you've got a lot of headwinds working against you. It's why large companies, large entities, they tend to stay large entities because they've got business mass, they've got kind of the operational capabilities. They just have to build and curate their brand, not destroy it. And despite what people saying online, even if they have a bad Spider-Man run for 10 years, that's not destroying the brand. They have to go a lot further. It's actually kind of difficult to destroy a brand once you really get it established. It can be done, but it's not trivial. Um, so to defeat that means you've got to gain the momentum and you've got to sustain over time. You've got to become a household name. You got to build, build, build. And what a lot of people forget is that they see, Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. They see these characters today, and what they forget is some of these characters have, nearly 100 years of brand building as part of them, and that's a lot of time. Um, it's a lifetime. If you're going to be in that league, you have to prepare yourself that it's going to take a very long time to build that brand, and you have to be, consistent. You have to be constantly thinking about ways to expand and grow, and you also have to have inner patience. And this is the thing that typically defeats most people because you're going to have years at a time when things are not going to work out well. I mean, don't forget, characters, Batman, Spider-Man, a lot of these characters definitely had off years. You had times where they didn't sell well and where it seemed like people were working away, moving away from them. And in some cases, they went on hiatus. I mean, the X-Men have had many dips over the years. It's not all been, top selling Wolverine, everything's perfect, Jim Lee is awesome kind of days. There's definitely been ups and downs. And a lot of people, especially people building the brand, do not have any tolerance for the downs. As soon as things start to decline, it's, well, this isn't going to work. I'm going to give up. I'm done. And some of it's personal motivation and some of it's cash. I mean, you may not have the money to survive the downs. If you're going to build a brand over a long time and you're going to become established, you have to be willing to, go hungry some of the time, maybe a lot of the time. And that's what it's going to take to be, a new number one, to defeat these guys, to be in that league. You're going to have a lot of down years. Image Comics started off with a bang, and then it dwindled bad. And then it was, it basically survived by nature of Walking Dead for a while, and then some other books came in, and it will have ups and downs again. Image is probably headed for some downs. I mean, just to be blunt, I mean, now when you're at the comic industry and you're at that size, you can afford to have the downs. It's not like it's, the whole world's going to tip over if you have some weaker quarters, but it doesn't stick in the mouths of people very well. People don't like to fail. People don't like to have lack of success. And if they start to get lack of success, a lot of people will go search their success elsewhere. And that's kind of the point. They go elsewhere. They stop building their brand. They move on. What's interesting, I can relate it to my channel and me. I joined with Perch because I want to be able to speak my mind about a bunch of parts of the industry. I did not want to, pardon expression, shit post or troll. It's not my goal. It's not what I wanted to do. And by and large, I've kept to that. Every now and then, I joke around and it gets out of hand. But I, my heart's in the right place. You can believe it or not, but it is. And I did not put on this alias because I wanted to hide and attack people from behind it. I've been pretty upfront. What I didn't expect and what I never intended was for anyone to follow this brand. I had no interest in building a follower count. I started doing these videos because, a couple of people, Ian among them, said, that rather than doing these long Twitter threads of bored people, and I'd get the, thread unroll, or I'd get people clowning me for having, 20-part threads on the business. So I went to videos where I can ramble on for 10 minutes or more. It is, but I never had subscriber growth as a model. What I did was I just started making videos and I put them out, and I thought I can do one a day. And then I'm like, oh crap, the content's stacking up to the point that it's aging. So now I'll do two a day, and more and more and more, and on it goes. That's been the growth. I have decent numbers. It's weird because I look at it, I'm like, I'm a small guy, and I don't compare myself to one of the bigger people out there by any stretch of the imagination. But I've got several thousand followers. I've got a couple thousand YouTube subscribers. It's nowhere near. I'm not PewDiePie or whatever, but there's people who are here. What's the secret to my success? I just kept doing it. Every day I showed up and I tweeted, or every day I showed up and I posted a video, and then the next day I post another one, the next day I post another one. And if you're consistent and you do that, your brand builds, whether you really want it to or not. Like I said, I didn't really care about building the brand. I just cared about putting stuff out. And so, and here we are. So if you're trying to start a comic company, the best, simplest, and maybe obvious advice I can give is, it's one foot in front of the other. There's an adage in business of, how do you eat the elephant? And the idea is the elephant's so big, a lot of people look at it with their knife and fork, and they're like, I can't possibly eat this giant elephant. It's too big. And then one businessman just starts taking one bite at a time. Now, this is a really creepy analogy if you think about it. But the idea is, what do you do when faced with a huge obstacle? You put one foot in front of the other and you start walking, and you figure it out as you go. And if you do that, you show consistency, and consistency is, half the battle or more, and you build your brand. So if you're an aspiring comic artist, retailer, distributor, publisher, whatever you want to be, your biggest asset is your ability to wake up in the morning and try again and do it and provide consistency. Most people will always gravitate to consistency. They want to, get content, see something, do something, read a comic book, whatever it happens to be. They want to just know that tomorrow there's going to be a new comic. That's why I harp sometimes on the crowdfunding guys who, put out one comic a year and then blow their schedules and other things. It's like you're destroying your own brand. You may not realize it, and people, your friends, may be telling you, it's okay, but it's really not. Getting going, one foot in front of the other, that's how you win. The secret to business, you just show up every day, you open your door, you turn a light on. Does that mean that you're guaranteed success if you do those things? Absolutely not. There's lots of things that can still get in the way. But if you don't do those things, if you don't show up every day and try, you are guaranteed failure. And that's the secret. Anyway, it's been a weird climb, but that's and I'm still climbing every day. I'm too dumb to know when to stop, is what my wife tells me. Anyway, what do you think? Can there be a company to take Marvel and DC? What about your project and what you're trying to do? Leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on the matter. And like, subscribe, share with a friend if you don't mind. Follow me on Twitter at Comic Perch. Add to my follower account, or just chat with me. It's okay either way. Thanks for listening.